Odds of winning the Rugby World Cup 2019. It's not the first time I've done a video on this. I've done it from 1 week before the tournament. I did one even a year before the tournament. But yeah, we're down to 4 teams now, so I thought we'll have a look of these 4 teams. Who's got the best odds of winning the Rugby World Cup according to the bookmakers now? I always have to mention this because people otherwise will bring it up in the comments. But yes, the odds from the bookmakers are not necessarily pure predictions on winning. It's influenced by a number of factors, including the number of punters who put bets on. And at the end of the day, surprise, surprise, the bookmakers are looking to make money from these odds rather than give a genuine prediction. But still, it's one thing we have to look at to see generally who's the favorite, who's the underdog, and whatnot. So all 4 of these teams have got to win 2 more games to be crowned Rugby World Cup champions. So we'll have a look at what the bookies say and compare that to where they were 1 week before the tournament started. One would assume all these teams are going to go up and their percentage odds because there are fewer teams to get the percentages away as well. So you're only dividing that 100% between 4 teams. I have converted the odds into percentages. I'll give you the bookies numbers as well if you're a punter, but I've converted them into percentages to make sure it's a total that equals 100. Don't worry about the maths, but basically there's some maths in the background. But anyway, we're going to end up with some percentages. So the All Blacks, the number 1 team in the world, what is their chance of winning the Rugby World Cup according to the bookies? It is 49.8%, so just under 50% chance of winning the Rugby World Cup. So that's $1.80 is what they're paying. Now remember, all the bookmakers' odds added together totals are more than 100%, so it is an adjusted number to make it a nice, tidy 100%. But yeah, before the Rugby World Cup, they were also the first favourite because guess what? There's no team which tops that in terms of being a favourite. So the All Blacks are the favourite according to the bookies. They were the favourite before the tournament started. Before the tournament started, their odds were 36.34. So they're up to almost 50 with 3 rivals remaining. England, they are the number 2 team in the world. Their percentage comes through at 17.9%. It's actually pretty similar. It's not a huge rise. So if you're into your punting, they're paying $5. That's from a New Zealand bookmaker, $5. So yeah, chance before the tournament was 16.36%. So I guess maybe those odds aren't greatly inflated because their next opponent is the All Blacks, and unlike these teams, they don't have an immediate game against the All Blacks. So there's a potential one of these teams could go to a World Cup final without the All Blacks. I'm not sure. But it's interesting that the percentage of the All Blacks have gone from 36 to 49. England's gone from 16 to 17. So it's not a huge bump when you look at that. So yeah, paying $5 to win the Rugby World Cup. The third highest team according to the world rankings is Wales. Their percentage chance is 9.9. That's not 99. That's 9.9%. So they're paying $9 over here in New Zealand to win the Rugby World Cup. And again, it's not much of a shift. 1 week out from the tournament, they were at 8.18%. So yeah, again, not a huge bump. Maybe it's the fact that they have to play the Springboks. Maybe it's based partly on their quarterfinal being the closest of the lot. So yeah, it is an interesting one that they haven't really had much of a bump. And that leaves us with South Africa. If your maths is good, you probably worked out what their total is already. But South Africa are on 22.4% chance of winning the Rugby World Cup. For them, it's actually a decent bump. From before the World Cup, they were at 14.73, so up from 14 to 22. So it's a bit of a bump for them, but still not a drastic one, but a decent one. So it is interesting. So if you look at where they were ranked, so the All Blacks are first now, the first favourite to win the Rugby World Cup according to the bookies. Oh, by the way, South Africa is paying $4. So yeah, New Zealand were first before the World Cup. They are first now. South Africa were third before the World Cup. They are second favourite now. England were second, they are now third, and Wales were fifth, they are now fourth. So the only other team that was in that list ahead of Wales before the World Cup was Ireland. They were the fourth favourite to win the Rugby World Cup before the actual tournament started. So yeah, how well does this sit with you guys? Would you rather be putting $100 on? $100 a fair bit of money to be punting for me anyway. $20. Would you put $20 on the All Blacks at $1.80? Would you prefer to see something a bit more value? Would you say, Wales' chance is only 9.9%, or would you say it's a bit greater? Because you look at these games this weekend, New Zealand, England, I mean, I don't know if it's 50-50, there's a helicopter about to fly over my house, but it feels a bit closer than that. Likewise, Wales against South Africa, I mean, I guess if you look at those percentages, there's not that much between them, but still, it feels like a bit of a disparity. So, yeah, I did look at other bookmakers because they are a bit varied from place to place, and obviously home fans tend to bet more on their own team. So I looked at a betting company in England, and it was much the same. The All Blacks number was the same. South Africa's number was the same. Actually, Wales were paying $11, which gives them even less of a chance, and England were paying $5.50, which is even, it was converted from pounds into dollars, so even less of a chance than what the New Zealand bookmakers have got them on. So yeah, it is an interesting one. You guys let me know your thoughts. We're only a couple of days away now. Well, it's Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, so a few days away from the first semi-final of the Rugby World Cup. The teams will not be too far away. We've already got the refs sorted for both games, Owens and Garces, so it's going to be interesting. You guys let me know your thoughts on these odds. How well do they sit with you? And yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. See you later. So we've got 4 games of the Rugby World Cup left, guys. 2 semis, a bronze playoff, and then the final itself. So now's the time to get yourself sorted if you haven't sorted how you are going to watch the World Cup. If you're in the UK, you'll be pretty familiar with this site, the ITV Hub, which has got all the games free, highlights, on demand, and live streaming. I know if you're in New Zealand, the 2 semis and the final are free to air. So if you didn't worry about Spark Sport, I would say don't worry about it now. That kind of ship has sailed, so you should be all good. I'm not sure about the rest of the world though. So I know New Zealand, the UK, you're pretty much sorted. If you're outside of those places and you're looking to watch the final games, like I said, it's free in the UK. So use ExpressVPN. The link's in the description. You just connect to a server in the UK like I'm doing now. And this sorry message, which you can see here about not being able to access, it's basically going to disappear. So if you want to live stream the game, if you want to watch it later on demand, if you want to see the highlights, you basically just jump on. So you only have to sign up for like the shortest period possible if that's what you want, because the tournament's only over. If you don't need a VPN past that, I mean, VPNs are pretty useful. They're good for all kinds of stuff. So if you want to sign up for, I think it's a month, 6 months, and a year. But I mean, you guys can have a look. There's a link in the description. But yeah, it's like 12 or 13 bucks American for the month anyway. So that should get you covered for the rest of the tournament. So it's pretty straightforward, like I'm just doing here. But as I said, New Zealand, remember, TVNZ has got the games, and UK, you guys are sorted anyway. So yeah, check out the games, guys, and hopefully it's going to be a good Final Four.